What up, TCG Metaslayer here, guys, and I just want to go over Critical Blow now. Quick preface is that I have not watched other people's videos. I have not gotten very much spoilers in terms of deck lists and things like that. So basically, when I saw the cards being released on Facebook, during the reveals or the teaser reveals of Critical Blow, I obviously started looking through multiple cards, every day and seeing what was kind of taking shape. But, after they were all pretty much fully revealed, I didn't really memorize the cards. So I didn't, again, know exactly what all these cards were when I opened up the boxes. So for me, it's been a nice journey of just my own discovery of all the different leaders and the cards in the set. I'm not like complete in my set. I don't have, two of the three SCRs. I can always obviously look those up. That's Gogeta and then the Cumber. And I'm probably missing, a couple of SRs or SPRs here and there. But other than that, I basically read through all the leaders now, and I've started to put basic decks together just to see how they are by the archetype. And I'm going to give you my overall impressions. Now, I want to start off by saying, too, that this is probably one of the best sets of Dragon Ball Super card game in a while. Not to say the other ones weren't any good or anything like that. Like, Wild Resurgence was awesome. I built, like, 2 decks. And I'm going to actually go back and get some more of the green Gohan cards, because when that deck was first released, it was like, as usual, the flavor hype deck. So I usually avoid those decks because they're the ones that get like overplayed and everyone thinks they're like super powerful. So they're just popping up everywhere. And those are usually the ones that get banned right away. But, as far as its thematic context, being part of the Cell games with the younger Gohan, I definitely want to check it out. But anyways, with Critical Blow, I've kind of stayed away from all that noise. So I haven't even paid attention to if there is any type of deck here that's supposedly the most powerful or the most popular. And I'm just going by what I enjoy, but I'm also looking at all the decks, pretty much unbiased. So I think I just want to start off by saying that the standout of this deck for sure is going to be the Son Gohan Unfaltering Power deck, simply because we're getting a red Gohan leader that is basically going to turn into the Beast. So I'll just grab it here and open it up really quick. Like, you get these awesome like Z Battle cards, like FPS style. I really like how they did that. Like, looking through Gohan's glasses. And then there he is right there. That's his Z Awaken. So, other than the blue Gohan that came out, this is really the only way, probably the truest way right now to play a Gohan Beast, especially like a red aggressive color. And I really like the mechanics. So just by going over the cards again, I like how things are intertwined with, your opponent having to capture Pan. Like, you have to play cards that give Pan to the opponent, their control, and then how Piccolo is important to, evolve into the orange Piccolo. And then when like he gets KO'd, your Gohan's power up and stuff like that. And then since they have blocker, your Gohan can basically unrest them. And it's a really cool theme. And again, I haven't played the decks yet, so I'm just kind of going over their mechanics and how they work. So that's definitely fantastic. I would say this is definitely an ace deck. For me also, I'm really liking Dr. Hedo. We're not, going to see a lot of Dr. Hedo decks in the future, I'm sure. This is exclusive to the superhero movie. And this deck is really fun too, because it comes with the package to play everything from the Red Ribbon side. You get Gamma 1, Gamma 2. You get like the setting for Dr. Hedo's laboratory. You get Cell Max. You get a little bit of hint of Magenta. I like how, I think 3 sets ago, Magenta got his own deck, which is pretty cool for Villainous. But, that was just kind of, I like it. It was a unique deck that was kind of just based on mechanics, right, on Villainous. And I almost finished building that whole deck. I collected all the Villainous cards. But in this one, Magenta plays more of the sacrificial role, like how you see him in the movie towards the end, where, basically when he gets KO'd, it helps your, your other cards come out. And he's not, the focus of the deck. The focus is still a little bit more on Gamma 1, Gamma 2. So I like that. And they have the iconic stuff like, it's really nice to see Hachimaru, and then Dr. Hedo in a few different costumes. And then seeing, like, for example, Gamma 2's Kamikaze Barrage. I think it's over here. Yeah, like, that's pretty sweet. So this looks like a super fun thematic deck. Again, the way the cards all play and synergize. Another ace deck for sure. I mean, again, I think all of these decks are pretty top. Janemba, I just recently organized my cards too. I don't have a lot of the Janemba cards, but it looks like what's happening here is that Janemba is focusing a little bit more on defense. I do have some of the older Janemba cards, and what I like, one thing I want to say about Critical Blow also is I like how they seem to be giving us like maybe slightly smaller archetype packages, and then leaving, like maybe if you look at a 60 card limit deck, although I know a lot of people like to play 50, I prefer 60, depending on the deck. But if you look at it from a 60 card max perspective, they pretty much give you enough archetype cards to fill in half of the deck, and then from there you can decide how many copies you want of each card in the archetype, and then you can pretty much like combine another archetype packages or just combination of good colored cards that will fit, and basically that still gives you the ability to be creative and innovative in your deck building. So that's another fantastic thing about Dragon Ball. I think the best TCGs are going to give you obviously the most freedom, but I think now even when you look at games like Magic the Gathering, newer games from Bandai like One Piece, even the recently released Lorcana, a lot of these decks, card games and decks are really locking you in to what you can play. And even though I think a lot of people still play Dragon Ball by building an archetype, which I even do, you can over time evolve the deck with more cards from the past and upcoming sets that fit in with color. And then of course, sometimes they can cross over to card abilities, then they share some qualities and things like that. So it becomes really exciting if you try to stick with a deck over a long period of time to keep it being relevant, to take on whatever is new and popular in the meta, quote unquote. But going back to this, so I think Janemba might even be beneficial. Might be beneficial for people who want to play Janemba to go back and look at the older cards. I think that'll play a huge role in not only this deck but the other leader. But I really like how this one, from what I've read so far, it really has a cool concept of switching between these Z battle cards. Each one has one of his moves from the OAV that does something specific, like it can give you critical, it can I think bottom deck something, but basically whenever you play one and you remove it, you can grab another one. So you basically just have this little mini toolbox you can run through and use. Basically it feels like you're in an RPG, like you're using Janemba's moves. You're playing as him or commanding him or whatever. So really, really fun there. This was a surprise to me, the Son Goku, the yellow deck. I didn't expect this. Or the Fortune Teller Baba. And this one is the Goku and Korin. So I really liked the younger reboot Goku deck with all of its barrier and combinations with Bulma and Yamcha. So I'm curious to see if any of them can combine, but I also like the mechanics here. We see a lot of characters we don't normally see. Like we see Upa from Dragon Ball. We see Upa's father, Bora, and we see Mercenary Tao and some awesome, cool, I like this retro anime art and action-packed comic poses. And it really focuses on this battle here with Goku. And from what I've seen so far, let me remember how this works here. This does use a lot of yellow. You definitely need to use the skill list cards here because it allows you to manipulate your opponent's cards, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check here. Yeah, I think what it was is and even with Goku Days of Adventure, there's the need to use Dragon Ball cards in your drop, which kind of combines with the Shenron Wish Dragon. But let me see. Yeah, so this deck I didn't fully understand. I'll admit, no problems there. But I know that it requires a lot of the skill list cards. Oh, that's what it was. That's one of the cool combo, or not combos, but the mechanics. It's one of the ones where you can basically use your skill list cards. You can either attack with them or whatever, and then even if they're in rest mode, you can always combo them. So that's kind of interesting, which is why, like I was saying, you're going to need to run things like Upa, Bora, and then you might even grab some other previous skill list cards. So anyways, I haven't really played a deck, and again, anything like this. I haven't built anything like this, so this will be fun to play. Now, Fortune Teller Baba is another fun surprise. This deck basically has you pretending you're a fortune teller. A lot of cards are based on you naming a number and then flipping over cards from your opponent's deck. And if you name a number that matches the energy that's revealed, you get like an effect, which just usually, let's see, what does it do? Yeah, it usually lets you like free play, or I think search your deck for one of like the villains, like bandages, bring it to your hand or something. So it's not like it's impossible to do, because even her ability when she's awakened, let's take a look here, and that's really cool. You see with the Gohan with the mask. Yeah, whenever you attack, your auto can draw a card, look up to 3 cards from your opponent's deck, place them back in any order. So you'll basically always be able to set up their draw, which I actually think is really powerful, not only to just use your ability, but to, understand what it is that they're drawing. If you can memorize what they're drawing, it can really give you an advantage in strategy. And obviously you can try to give them cards that are super powerful. You can try to give it to them a little bit later than, like, if they drew right away or something, if they're not able to draw multiple cards a turn, maybe you can get that third card being like a super powerful card you don't want to see right away. Maybe you can delay that one turn, which, even in this game, especially in this game, even one turn, preventing them from getting something super powerful can mean all the difference. So this is just going to be a fun leader. I think it can still be meta competitive. As far as I see things, I try to look at everything neutral and see how it can always be able to beat whatever the meta decks are. And again, you just have to practice, tweak the deck properly, and of course prepare a sideboard. But this is going to be very interesting, so I'm looking forward to building and playing this. And it's also fun just to see all these other characters. Again, like you get Bandages, Dracula Man, and one of the erratas, part of the combos, or the mechanics of the deck, is you want to put your villains underneath this card, where it says when you play one of them, you have to put them underneath it. So the confusion was just quick clarification. So like if you played Bandages, right, and you had the Fortune Teller Palace out, right, what happened is if you played Bandages, you would search your deck for another exact Bandages Challenging Warrior and put it under this card, right? The current way it's written makes you think that you put it under him, but no, the way the deck works is you have to put it underneath this card. That's your field card. And then of course there's Fu, which is another surprise. I've never played a Fu deck. I've only learned about him recently as I was finishing up my Xenoverse 2 on the Switch. And he's a cool character, very strategic villain at this point, with selfish ambitions for his science, his data, his warp and time travel and everything like that. And since I never put together the Cumber deck, I wasn't so interested in Cumber, mainly because to me he looks like Super Saiyan Goku 3, right? But he doesn't have the yellow hair. Obviously, he's just, when he's normal, he's always has the long hair. But and he's a villain from Prison Planet, and I haven't got there yet. That's in Dragon Ball Heroes, I believe. But he might be a cool villain once I get to that anime. But anyways, in the meantime, I get to use some Cumber cards. So that's what's also cool about this set. Because Cumber is part of Fu's like strategy, and what's really nice about this deck is you're doing a lot of things you don't do in any other deck at this point. Is he actually manipulates the Z deck by putting Cumber cards on top of your Z deck, and then you have to play the Cumber cards from the Z deck, and you can kind of like cycle through your Z deck, and again, it's really unique, and it just gives you that feeling that you're really this intelligent, calculating villain with all of this like manipulative strategy. So again, overall, Bandai did an awesome job this set. I just want to give one critique, and that is because there were so many erratas this set, and I think 2 in the previous set, Wild Resurgence, I really hope the team just slows down and starts to focus again. And I know there's challenges with the language barrier, but man, I wish they, if only they released this game in Japan, even later than never, because without getting too much off topic, they're obviously releasing Dragon Ball Fusions to kind of remedy that, so that way Japanese players can start playing the game from the start. But again, much more simpler game, nowhere near this level, not as fun and mechanical. Can still be fun in its own right if you want to play, simple, fast games with a digital client. But for me, it's all about playing in person or webcam and manipulating cards in real life. And just again, all these fun mechanics and stuff, as you can see, and flavors for every deck. just really takes Dragon Ball Masters, as it's called now, to the top level of just, you know, TCGs in general. All right, I'm just going to finish up by talking about the Goten deck and the Broly deck. So these are the ones I'm kind of getting familiar with right now. Let's see, where are they? Here's the Broly and the Paragus, and then here's the Son Goten. So I really liked the Saiyan Showdown Goten deck, the red one with the triple miracle Kamehameha. I like how all of that worked together with, you know, your leader, your unison with Gohan, and then playing the Goku card. And this one definitely is different, of course. Same theme, but now you have to rely more on this Z battle card, or Z extra card, the Family Kamehameha. And then from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of evolving up from Goten, evolving up from Gohan. And they also added in a flavor here to the OAV where you're on Jaguar Island with like the Bio Broly and some of those Bio Warriors that, you know, Trunks, who's the super combo, you know, Trunks and Goten kind of fought. But then the storyline, that storyline is separate from when, you know, the unless I'm confused, you know, which is possible, but the Goku, Gohan, Goten triple Kamehameha against Z Broly. So I think they're trying to kind of merge the two together in this deck. Again, Trunks, for sure, 100%. I'm not confused with the Trunks and the Goten when they fought against a Bio Broly. I remember watching that even when I was younger, and it was fun to see them together. You know, these two kids going up against a Bio Broly, and you know, them being the main characters. So that was really cool. So that's where this deck is heading, and the Broly deck too. It doesn't seem fully complete yet. I mean, I guess I'm missing a lot of cards, but I mean, I've already put all my play sets here, but this is the one deck I haven't really gone through 100%, although I think this will probably be ending up more of a supplemental package to, you know, the previous, the older green Broly deck. There's a lot of red-green Broly cards. I also play the red Broly from Saiyan Showdown. That's all extra based, so that probably won't combine with this at all, but there's probably more to add to this deck from previous releases than it being, again, more of a standalone archetype. So, you know, and so in my general impressions, now this can obviously change the more I play the decks and learn more about them, but from just my first day one, again, they all have unique mechanics. The packages are able for you to add your own, like plenty of room for you to add your own cards and packages to them. These seem like great supplemental decks here. And then the last two is going to be the Gogeta deck. So this one, let me grab the leader. This was another standout. And this is one that came with Janemba in a previous set. And gotta try and grab this one-handed. I see you, Goku. All right, I got him. So yeah, this OAV2 is one of the first ones that I watched, and back in the day when it first came out, and it was just so game-changing. You know, people don't appreciate it nowadays. There's so much anime flooded everywhere, but this was really game-breaking. Just, you know, again, in the animation, the story, the battle, really, really epic. One of my favorite OAVs and anime episodes of all time. So this one, and again, this is the one that introduced the non-canon Gogeta right here. But I think this one is also going to work well and supplement the packages from the previous ones. The previous set that had it, I think, was it Destroyer Kings maybe? Regardless, you guys know what I'm talking about, and you know, I'll look it up later. But yeah, these will maybe give you like an alternative. Maybe you can choose this leader and build with the previous cards. Maybe you can choose a previous leader and start building with some of these newer cards. But I've mainly been playing the older red Gogeta, but I'm going to see how I can collect these. I know that you need the SCR, man. It'd be awesome for me to eventually pull the GDR. Then that would really motivate me to get this deck together. But either way, still really nice. Again, and they added like one multicolor card here. And then same with the Broly, right? They gave us two multicolors. Well, there's another one actually. It's an SR, so I don't have it in this pile. I have it in this pile. Let me grab it. They gave us this one here, the Sparking to the Limit. So yeah, really nice. And again, the artwork on this, so if you're just also collecting it, man, this set has incredible artwork. You know, you get a lot of the staple stuff with the characters in action poses. The foiling looks awesome, and the new Z extra cards here They look a lot more immersive. And last thing I want to say is they added some. Oh yeah, so with the last thing with the Gogeta though is they also added a bunch of yellow cards to also complement. You have blue and yellow cards obviously because it's dual colored. So this could also be its supplemental deck, or maybe it's its own archetype that you can add to it, because there's still going to be, looks like, plenty of room here. And what I also liked, what I noticed is they gave us cards, and I think Dragon Ball needs to do this a lot. Bandai needs to do this with every set. Keep giving us like, I guess half archetypes so that we can either combine with older cards or newer cards and just make the decks even more unique so that we have a balance of archetype and creativity. Perfect, like no other card game. And then start giving us cards that are, either good for any color, or like in this case, they gave us cards for previous archetypes. So I'm excited about these. They gave us a Higher Dragon and a Son Gohan here, and these basically will go with the, again, Saiyan Showdown. It's so funny how that links. Saiyan Showdown was my favorite set. I think it's still going to be. This might be my number 2, I think. And Saiyan Showdown introduced the Young Gohan that can flip back and forth between, Saiyan and Ape. And then these cards supplement that because the leader for these says, the requirement, it says the Gohan Youth. And obviously that one, and there's another deck that uses Higher Dragon, so that adds another little, mini package, 2 cards, whatever, options to put in those decks. And then I was going to say here, a deck that one of the only decks recently that I didn't get fully familiar with is a Turtle School deck. So they've given us 2 cards here that, again, obviously you can see from like the permanents require the Turtle School leader and stuff. So that's great. And then they gave us Whis here. This must be an older archetype because yeah, again, I don't have very much. I've bought random packs throughout the years from the previous years, but I don't have like a Whis leader. And only, most of the Whis cards I have supplement other archetypes. But this one specifically says here, it's for a blue Whis leader. So that's what that's for. So if any of you guys are playing that deck, or you like the character, then pay attention to this. And then they just gave us a great Saiyaman super combo for blue generic. So I guess, I don't know, this could be in, any blue deck, whatever, Janemba or the Gogeta, because this card is inherently blue, where this is for blue leaders. And then let me see. Yeah, and that's basically it. So really awesome and fantastic set. And I will probably be getting at least another box or 2 just to see, again, how quickly I can grab that GDR for this guy. I definitely still think the best GDR is the Goku Peaceful Resolution in terms of the artwork and the theme and its ability to be played in any deck. This GDR is fantastic, but it's really only for this set. Kind of like how the Vegeta is, although the Vegeta can still be used in most red decks. But I still think that this GDR is the least flexible. It's more of just like, if you're going all in on this Janemba Gogeta anime, then you're gonna want to get that one. At least the SCR, right? You don't have to get the GDR, obviously. And then from this set, I still think the underrated and the best SCR is the Bursting Rage that I pulled for, I guess for Gohan. It's him when he's younger though, and it's red, but you can basically use it for any Z leader, where if you have a leader and then it matches, you basically just can burst it. You get to play it for free. You can either use it offensively or defensively. Super clutch, very flexible, and again, can give you the offensive edge you need to win or the defensive edge you need to survive a turn so you can still possibly win. And again, it's interesting because I think it should have been a black card. I think I've seen some people say that because it's basically any color. But there you guys go, man. Critical Blow, phenomenal set, both from a playing perspective and a collectible perspective. So again, yeah, just look at these gorgeous SPR, SR, and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to get a full foil set of every card just because, not every card, but almost every card that I like. And there you guys go. So let me know in the comments what you think. What are some of your favorite decks? Let me know if you want me to cover any decks specifically. Like I said, I'll definitely be building Beast Gohan, Dr. Hedo, and then Fortune Teller Baba. And then I'll get to these guys eventually, and then we'll see what happens with, I might try to combine or do something with Broly and Gohan or Goten, and we'll see what happens with the Gogeta guys. But you can't go wrong with this set. There's awesome stuff everywhere for fans of Dragon Ball to enjoy. So that being said, thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to keep your face, say a prayer, spread that love, be positive, be thankful. We come back at you. Peace.